Gloria Coppola from Massage Pro C.E. and I'm here today at Oakworks, and we are going to demonstrate and speak about what Lomi Fusion is all about. I also have my lovely model here, Bobby, so I thank you today, Bobby, for being here with us. Those of you that have studied Lomi know that it's more than technique. It's about many of the Hawaiian principles and values. It's about a lifestyle, it's about nutrition, it's about laughter, and it's about community. Well, Lomi Fusion brings in some of these other things that you probably haven't learned in your basic Lomi training. So what I'm going to talk about and show you today is how this training is going to help you bring some more techniques and tools into your life and into your bodywork sessions. So recently I saw a video that was done by one of the Hawaiian Kumu Alva, and he talked about exactly what I just explained to you, and he mentioned that Lomi has about 48 modalities. Did you know that? So a lot of people are used to seeing that long flowing stroke, but there's actually much more to Lomi than that. So if you've taken a 2-day class or a 5-day class, you probably got exposed to learning how to use your body mechanics, what this whole tradition is about, and how to get that beautiful long flowing stroke onto the body. Well, today I'm going to show you some of the things that we're going to teach you in Lomi Fusion that look maybe perhaps like some compression and stretches or Thai massage. And when I took my Lomi training, we were probably about into the 15th day, because it was a 30-day training, not a 2-day training. We started doing techniques that looked exactly like Thai massage. And you might say to me, well, why is Thai massage in Lomi? Well, if you look at the location of Hawaii to all the different places out in the Pacific and Asia, many of the Hawaiians, when things had changed, when the missionaries came, left the islands, and they lived all over. They lived in Thailand and Japan and Indonesia, and they even went as far as Europe. So when they came back 100 years later, they brought more tools and techniques with them. And so you will often find that Lomi has a combination of techniques to use. So we're going to take our sheet today, and we're going to drape it across Bobby's body like this. And we're going to tuck it in just gently right on the side here. Now, many people that have studied Lomi know that we mostly use massage oil, usually coconut oil and or macadamia nut oil, because that's what was available. But if you use cream, that's okay too. The thing is, the trick is to learn how to use this oil without saturating the body so much that you can't make good contact with the tissue. So those that think that Lomi is light, those that have taken Lomi know that it's not. And we can do deep tissue, we could do therapeutic work, and we can treat conditions as well in order to help alleviate different problems that your client has. So I'm just going to apply some of this oil on Bobby's body right now. And so typically you might see the forearm stroke going up and down the body on your client. And prior to any Lomi session, those of you that have taken trainings know, it always begins with pule. That's your prayer. It begins with the intention of what you want to bring into the session. You probably have discussed with the client their needs, and you probably have checked the posture as well. So after we get the body warmed up, we can begin to bring different compressive moves in here and different joint movements. So you might see a Lomi practitioner using their forearms or the palms of their hand, going in the body, making connection with the fascial tissue, holding, releasing. And so you'll say, well, I know how to do that. Very true, you probably do. But in Lomi, we work on something called maka'ala. And part of our training is to help raise your awareness so that when you are doing these techniques with your client, you're not pushing them into a space that they're not ready to go into. So in Lomi Fusion, we're going to work on heightening your awareness even more so that you can really feel where they're at in this moment. How many of you gotten massages and the therapist comes in on your body just a little too deep, too fast? Well, in this class, we're going to, again, help you realize how to get in tune with that, not to hurt your client, because deep tissue doesn't have to hurt. We're going to take the body into different movements I'm going to feel which angles my client wants to go in and which ones they don't want to go in. And I'm going to keep working with it. Now, the other thing that we're doing in Lomi Lomi is we work with our breath, the ha breath. And we also use the ha breath to help with moving energy, clearing energy blockages. And we use it as a tool as well to monitor and read energy that is moving in their body. So how do we do that? Well, that also requires training, and it requires attentiveness to really listening to what's happening in their body through the breath. And with that, the client will begin to open more. And how did that happen? Is because I listened to Bobby's body exactly in the space and in the time that her body was ready to now move over into this space. Could I have taken it over? Absolutely. But that hurts a client, and that doesn't feel comfortable. So now we're going to come in along the side of the hip joint and very slowly connect with her fascial tissue and listen and breathe and ask for the guidance that we need to connect with Bobby's body in order to get this hip to open up easier and without a lot of pain. And so those of you that have studied orthobionomy, position release, myofascial, cranial sacral, you're going to see a lot of things that look like those modalities. Well, they are. It's just that, 100 years ago they didn't have names, and the Hawaiians intuited all this work because of their level of heightened awareness, or maka'ala. The thing I have found with students and practitioners is that they're afraid to move the body sometimes. And they just allow the client to lay on the table and receive these long, beautiful, flowing, relaxing strokes. And that's great, and it's very nurturing. But energy gets blocked in these joints. And we need to open it up in order for the body to move and to be in balance. So we're going to take our forearm. We're going to compress, compress, compress. Bring the leg in as far as it wants to go. Get a nice good quad stretch. And then see which angles she also needs some stretching done. And we're going to hold it. I might be monitoring her breath while I got her in these different spaces where things are tight. And just waiting, waiting, waiting for it to open and release. I'm going to take my hand under here. I'm going to drape her a little tighter. I'm going to allow for her foot to just rest in my forearm. I'm going to lift her up off the table, keeping this drape nice and secure. And I'm going to begin to rock her like you would be rocking a baby to sleep. And what I'm doing is I'm waiting for this opportune moment, as we say, to catch the wave, to move her into a space where she's going to get more ease, and we're going to get more access into working the muscles that we need to address to clear this out. So this is a great way to open up all these hip muscles in this joint. And by gently going into this space, we can stretch the tensor fascia out for people who have issues with that. The ITB, obviously. We can get into hamstrings and even the obturators back in here, which often get neglected. By changing the angle of your forearm and your elbow, it takes you into new spaces and can give you more depth. The other thing we like to encourage our clients is to breathe with us. Because if they hold on, as you know, the muscles are going to be tighter and things won't open up as easy. So in Lomi Fusion, we're also going to teach you how to breathe properly. And we're going to teach you how to teach your clients to breathe properly. And we're going to teach you how to work with both hands and not just one. So that while I'm in here working her hip, I could also be doing techniques here that may enhance what is happening with the hip. And how do I do that? I listen to the body, I trust my intuition, and I feel for where the body wants to go. So this hand is actually bringing her foot in medial, and this one is stretching out the fascia in here. And right in this space, I can feel where she's got a really deep blockage. I could also take my fist and help open that out. Or I can start to see, is she ready to move into a new space? But clearly, she is not. Can I push her like this? Yes, I can. But that could hurt a client. So we're going to stay right where we are. Now the nice thing is I'm also working on the Prolux convertible table. So as I change my techniques, I could lower the table if I need to, or I can raise it. It saves your body, obviously, and it helps make everything easier. A lot of times I'll hear, well, Lomi is not deep, and I hear that even from practitioners who have taken some of the basic trainings. But we'll ask Bobby later on, or even now. Bobby, does that feel deep or light? Feels pretty deep, she says. She likes it. So it's all about how to access the tissue, and that's what I'm going to teach you how to do. How to correctly access it, how to make it beneficial, how to take it into these beautiful Lomi sessions that you probably have started out learning about. And then when you're done, obviously, you'll nurture them again with the long, beautiful strokes that you've learned. When we want to take this leg back, we're going to caress it just like we did in the beginning. We're going to rock it slowly, and we're also going to listen to the body as to when we can bring it back. We want to secure this knee and not drop it or snap it. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to check out some changes that have happened in her body. How's that feel? We could also take the other leg with or without the sheet on her, and we could use this to compress. So I'm going to take the sheet off for a moment just so you can see. You could also do this with clothing on. So a lot of times people think, well, Lomi's only done with limited draping. Again, not true. We could do Lomi with clothing on. We could do Lomi in a chair. So by taking the one foot across, if her leg can go that way comfortably, and utilizing the other one, we can get some nice stretches. Is that okay? Effortlessly on your body. And so if you have studied Thai, you might say, oh, that looks like a Thai technique. Sure, it is. It's also a compression and a stretch. So if you join me in Lomi Fusion, we'll start out learning how to build your awareness more. We'll talk about the energy that flows through the body and how you can use your ha breath to tune into that even more. And for those of you that have studied cranial sacral therapy, you know about that cerebral spinal fluid and how that moves up and down. Well, you can use that to monitor things. But we're also going to use the breath to open these spaces up and enhance all these other techniques that you might know. So everything you've learned already, everything you intuit, and everything you continue to bring in your massage practice is Lomi. And when you're ready to bring Lomi into your life, and if you've taken a training, I hope you're already doing this, Lomi is about proper nutrition, it's about community, it's about laughter. So you might find us doing some herbal consults with the client, if that is the area of expertise. You might find us working along with their diets, their nutrition. And so we'll discuss some of that in the Lomi Fusion class and the options and where you can learn about more of this. So now you might be saying, okay, so she's just rocking or doing something like Traeger. Well, that's part of Lomi Lomi too. And again, I'm reading the movement of the body. I'm feeling the flow of the energy. And I might even come just down on the sheet and clear it out her feet. So you can see, Lomi's not just one technique. It's not just a long flowing stroke. It encompasses many, many modalities, and we do use it therapeutically, or as some might say, in medical massage, as well as relaxation, lymph drainage, and energy work. So I hope that explains a little bit of how we can use some of these techniques in the prone position in Lomi Lomi. And if you want information on the upcoming new class, you can visit my website at www.massageprocE.com. Thank you for joining us today.